Oh, a little technical difficulties this evening. I'm really about tired of Mercury retrograde. How is everybody doing? Welcome to the new members. Welcome. Welcome, Louise. Hello from down under or in down under. Hello. And welcome, Bernetta. How you doing, lovey? Hello. Hello. Good evening, beautiful moderators. Good evening, Sharon. Good evening, Cericia. Good evening, Mystical. Good evening, Miss Marilyn. Good evening to Mika and Jeanette. Metro, hello, Cynthia. Hello, Nicole and Anna. How is everyone? Holy cannolis. Holy cannolis. Hey, Angela. Hello. So, uh, thank you to everybody who came and let me know I could be seen. Hey, Crystal. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Cynthia. Hey Chris. Thank you everybody that let me know I could be seen earlier today because it was a little cray cray. Okay, because I was like, why are not more people seeing that I am live? What's going on? Um, and I wanted to get an email out to my folks, but anyway, let everybody know I'm live. Let your peeps know. Let them know. Let them know. Let them know. This is going to be an important live, a very important live that we're doing today. And while this is not going to be, I'm not giving you predictions tonight. There's plenty of people out here giving their predictions. And probably because I titled it what I did is the reason why it did what it did, right? That YouTube kind of was like, not sure what this woman is about to say. So we are not gonna just like put it out there. Um, but what I am gonna do tonight is I am going to bring to you what I'm seeing astrologically with the transits and how this is then relating to us as light workers, how also I'm seeing the various, the sides kind of lining up as we're beginning to enter into the age of Aquarius, which we might chat about that. I'm not saying that age of Aquarius starts on the 20th of December, 2020. I don't believe so. I do believe we're getting prepared and it's moving in that direction, of course. So we're going to buckle up a little bit. We're going to look at the astrology and then I'm going to pull some cards, but I'm going to tell you the overreaching message that I'm getting is that, first of all, we have to stay vigilant as light workers. Second of all, this is a very critical and evolutionary time in our humanity. And I'm drinking from my Star Wars cup tonight for a very specific reason that we'll talk about soon. And also that this is a time where we do not have the luxury of just sitting back on the sidelines. Thank you, Miss Anna. Thank you. Welcome as a new member. We don't have the luxury of sitting on the sidelines. Okay. We don't have that luxury. And so, because we don't have that luxury, we really have to pay attention to the signs that we do see. And I am literally just going in and grabbing some information. So just give me just 1 second as I grab this info here, and I want to be sure people know that we're here and that we're ready to go. Now, I will tell you that the where we're at right now is a interesting place. Okay? Where we're at right now is an interesting place. We're at this time period whereby what we have thus far known as reality and as time is changing in a big way. Okay, it's changing in a major way. um the portals that we're walking through right now, the change in the changing of the guard, the changing in the structure that we're in right now is above is beyond real. It is beyond um I don't even know how to put it, because we're coming into this moment in time where honestly, if you are not on a path of uh fulfilling your purpose and getting ready and getting prepared to be able to assist others as they awaken, with everything that's coming down the pipe, you're missing your boat. Can I just say it? You're missing your boat. You're missing your purpose. You need to get with the program. You need to absolutely get with the program. All right. 1 second, guys. I'm going to edit this later. Bear with me. I need to get this out because there's some people that may or may not know that we're here. And I need to be sure that they know that we're here. And I need to be sure that they are tuned in. And so here we go. All right. Some of you that are here are going to get this email. Just know I needed to do this. All right. Here we go. It is very much change. Hey, Red Violet, how you doing? Hey, Dana, how are you, honey? Thank you so much. All right, let me share my screen. You're not going to see me at this point. I'm going to share my application, hopefully. All right, let me go back. Here we go. All right, here we go. And let me put this in presentation mode. All right. Now that hopefully is filling up the screen. I want you guys to some leave me some leave me some hearts. I'm going to open my YouTube up here, my channel. Leave me some hearts if this fills up the screen and you can see it quite well. Okay, leave me some hearts because now I can't see anything. All right. Hey Jacqueline. Hey CJD. Hey Carla. All right. I've got some circles here, guys. I've circled various planets. They're thin circles. It is going to be the moon, and this is November 3rd's transit chart. The moon and the north node in Gemini, which most everybody should know at this point. The incumbent is a Gemini, but we're not going to talk about too much of that, but we'll get to some of it. Venus is going to be in Libra. Mercury is going to be direct in Libra. That's rather significant. Uranus is in retrograde in Taurus. Mars is in retrograde in Aries. And then here we have the big boys conjunct, because they're all within 8 degrees of each other. Jupiter, Pluto, and Saturn conjunct in Capricorn, and then the sun, I did not circle it, is in Scorpio. Now, every election, okay, the sun is in Scorpio. So that's nothing that's new. That's nothing that's unrealistic. That's just the way it is. Scorpio, in addition to that kind of CSI, FBI, CSA, NCIS, KGB, MI6 sign is also the sign of contracts. It's also the sign of um, other people's resources. It's also the sign of agreements. It's so there's this agreement we're entering into with this in the individual and individuals that are being elected on election day on November 3rd. What I find interesting is the moon is trining Venus, and by sign trining Mercury, which means people's feelings to me. So the moon in Gemini, how people are thinking, this is on a collective level, how people are thinking, their thinking is very, if it wasn't clear, it is clear now to themselves. If they didn't for sure believe one way or the other, by November 3rd, as this moves into alignment or trining with Venus, what is most important to them as an individual in regard to their personal balance and their personal sense of justice, whatever that is going to come into play on November 3rd. You're going to know by November 3rd, if you don't already, but some people may be undecided as they're standing in line waiting to cast their ballot. But what we're going to see from the collective on November 3rd, the overreaching, overriding energies that we're seeing on November 3rd is what is really personally important to you from an intellectual thought process standpoint. Gemini is a very fast thinking, fast decision making, very much truth, justice type of sign. And the reason why I say that about Geminis is this: a Gemini, on a very personal level, if they've been wronged in any way, it is their personal vendetta to exact retribution in some sort of way or prove that they are right. I'll put it like that. To prove that they're right. If they've been lied on, in other words, I have a Gemini son. I have a Gemini granddaughter. I have many, many friends. My first love was a Gemini. I know Geminis very well. I love Geminis. Some of my best friends are Geminis. And I will tell you to a T, to a person, an individual, if they have been lied on in any way, shape, form, or fashion, wronged, if they feel like they have personally been affronted in any way, they will do whatever it takes to prove that they were telling the truth, and they will do anything in any way that it takes to also make sure that everybody knows that they're telling the truth and bring about justice. What does this mean for the collective? This means how are you personally feeling as far as the justice you have seen in your personal life, and how are you feeling as far as the collective energy of the country right now and of the world indeed? Are you seeing that justice is being done, or are you feeling like people are misrepresenting your side? Doesn't matter either side. Doesn't matter either side. How are you feeling? Are you feeling that justice in your own personal life is being carried out? Also, Venus at home in Libra says, what do I value in my own personal life to keep me in balance? What is going to bring me into balance? And whereas Mercury has been in retrograde, went from Scorpio back up into Libra in retrograde. So there might have been some, I'm not really clear, I'm not really sure. By November 3rd, it is direct and it is moving back to Scorpio, where it will wreak some more havoc. We'll talk about that another day. But so now you have clarity of thought to go along with your feelings. So, in other words, people as a collective are going to feel that they are absolutely, positively right. And they're going to be quite vocal about it, hopefully in good ways. Hopefully at the polls. That's where you're going to exercise where you feel you're right. But this is very personal for each and every individual, and as a whole, as a collective. I do believe that some more hidden secrets, or how can I put this, that what is becoming illuminated, and we're only going to go to November 6th because that's the longest I was directed to go, was to November 6th. That what we hold dear and near to our hearts, the balance has to happen. We have got to get back into an energetic balance. What does this mean for the light worker? For the light worker, do you know what this means? This means, beloved, that we as light workers must shine our light brighter. When I gave the full moon reading and message the other day, what was the theme of that? The hunted becomes the hunter. We've got to stop sitting in a back seat because of religious or governmental or perceived, how can I put this, perceived like restrictions on us expressing who we are and living out our purpose and shining our light. It is time to wake up. And we need to take this energy. So what I'm seeing is that balance is coming. Mother Earth is not going to allow things to be out of balance for very, very long. Now, also the moon is sextiling Mars in retrograde in Aries and Chiron in retrograde in Aries. Those of you who know me know that Chiron and I have a very, very special relationship. That wounded healer, that where's somebody going to get you? That one area of your world, your life, that if somebody hits there, that is that soft spot, boy, that soft underbelly. Now, this also then plays into, right? This plays into the thought process of what is personal for you. Now, this chart is from the perspective, I don't know, the moon in the 8th house. I'm not sure what starts. Well, okay, it's from the perspective of the sun. The sun in these moon charts, the sun being in the 1st house. This is from the perspective of the sun. So from the sun's perspective, as the sun is saying, okay, we're making, deals, contracts. Are we renewing this contract? Are we starting a new one? What's going on here? What's happening behind the scenes over there? How are you feeling over here? Let's take all this and put it together, and we're going to come up with something here. It sees the moon over in Gemini. It's opposing directly Uranus up here, the green in Taurus in retrograde. So it's like, Uranus, you really ain't no help. Uranus is like, listen, I'm going to sit this one out because I've been direct for quite a long time. But I'm going to sit this one out because I need people to really see and understand what is really important, and can they and are they willing to go on and sacrifice to make the change they need to make. I am going to sit this out momentarily and not force radical change at the moment. But I'm here stirring the pot a little bit and making you think once, twice, three times about how you're feeling about a thing. What again, all of these in alignment here to me say what is personally important to you as an individual, and how does that perception from the individual play out into the rest of the world? How do you see you as an individual relating to the rest of the world? And how do you see you as an individual as part of the collective energy? And all of this comes to a head as Mercury in Libra is squaring Pluto, Jupiter, and Saturn in Capricorn, as they all are now direct and moving towards Aquarius in the third house, which means they're sextiling the sun. Why is that important? Third house is the house of intellect, right? Third house is the house of intellect. Third house is the house of what your mind perceives as true. What is your thought process? That conjunction again. We did this earlier in the year. Here we are again. This conjunction again is this time with Jupiter pushing for expansion and moving up fast onto Pluto and then onto Saturn. As they all get to Aquarius, Jupiter's booking its way on out. Jupiter's saying, listen, I'm tired. I've been here. I done gone to retrograde. I done had it. I got to get out of this constriction and I need to break free. But before I break free, let me deposit a little bit of that expansionary thought into Pluto on my way past and onto Saturn as I kiss him and tell him to kiss my you know what on the way out the door. Because Jupiter's like, listen, it is time for all of us to not just live in the confines of our box. And this is also the challenge that we're feeling with Mars in retrograde, with Chiron in retrograde. It's like, God dang it, all this personal stuff that I have been dealing with for forever that has held me back. I can no longer allow this to occur. Now, where does this fit globally or in the collective? That means you have a lot of individuals within the collective that are all rethinking and restructuring their lives because we don't know what the new normal really looks like. And we're trying to find our balance and our footing with that Venus in that 11th house in a collective spirituality, collective philosophy, that the collective needs to be on the balance. The issue that I'm seeing with this is that there are polar opposites trying to decide whether or not what is best for the collective. There's one school of thought that is saying, okay, what's best for the collective is all of us to, raise our vibration and do this and do that and live fabulous lives and to be loving of one another and to take the responsibility and accountability, right? There's that collective, and we can all help one another in that realm. What I'm seeing in the other realm is that there is this drive for the collective at the expense of the individual. So these are two different thought processes that are very dangerous in and of themselves. I think I need to come onto the scene here and talk to y'all a little bit about that. There are two thought processes that are at play here. There is this elevation of the individual to break out of a religious, socioeconomic, governmental collective, which is rather tribal in nature, right? And then to come together to elevate all of humanity. Then there is a thought process that puts the collective before the individual. That's very different. Those are two On the surface, yes, we're all coming together. On the surface. But you got to go beneath and see what's really happening. Do you want to live in a world where the collective is more important than the individual? And now we have a larger collective. Right now we live in these different tribal type collectives. We live in a collective of, uh charismatic Christians or Muslims or Jewish or this or that, or we live in these collectives underneath certain governmental regimes, or we live in these collectives where there's other constrictions based upon gender, skin color, orientation, things of that nature. So there's all these different tribes, right? So there's many collectives. There's many MINI collectives. Well, there's one thought process that says, hey, let's bring them all together, but still the collective in a governmental form has oversight and reigns supreme over the individual. Right? And then there's the other side that says, this is what I'm seeing energetically. The individual raises up as an individual and then takes their proper place in the collective. They sound so similar, and yet they're quite different. All right, let's share the screen again. And let's go bigger. So this is the transformation, our foundational transformation. We finally now, some of us are going to find that we're a little bit at odds. We might not be able to fully verbalize it, but we know we got to break out of it. And then it's also squaring Mars in retrograde. So we're still going to be feeling a little bit confined and wondering whether or not we can actually break out of it. Wondering, can we actually make it happen? Okay, this is just the 2020. This is just the energy on election day. Now, also, I do not want to discount the sun trining Neptune in retrograde in Pisces. There are some dreams that ain't going to come true. However, we are seeing behind the veil and above and beyond it. This is why we can see what's happening. So from an energetic standpoint, we have one energy that basically wants to say, no, we're going to bring all y'all together and boof, we're still going to confine you through technology. We're only going to let you transform so much. You're going to be dependent upon us how you earn your living. You're going to be dependent upon us on how you're thinking. It's kind of against that actual transformation and elevation thought. Now, do I think there's a lot of people that are going to be still in a quandary on Tuesday? Yes. Do I think that we are going to hear actual election results? I don't think so. I think that this sextile of Jupiter, Pluto, and Saturn, this group that's trying to maintain control in its last hurrah, with Pluto in retrograde, we're not going to know anything yet. I don't think so. I think that we will intuitively know, and the sun, by the way, is trining. So the sun wants to show it. So the sun is trying to illuminate it, but I don't see that it happening. And with the sun opposing Uranus on November 3rd directly in retrograde, I just don't see us having a definitive answer that day. Okay? Now, Let's go to November 4th. The moon on November 4th is directly trining Mercury, Gemini, and Libra. I believe, I could be wrong. I believe this is about the degree of a certain person's sun. At any rate, so now people are going to be speaking, thinking, listen, we don't have time for y'all to be playing games and hiding information. The moon will be directly squaring Neptune. Neptune's sitting back here going, I don't really want to tell you the truth. I'm not sure if you can handle it. Neptune's back here doing a deep dive. People are just like, I'm not sure what's going on. The sun is still sextiling Neptune, or trining, excuse me, but it's moving away and separating now from Uranus. So it's got a little breathing room to feel like it can kind of show us and illuminate to us what's going on. It is moving into a sextile with the big three boys. The big three boys, of course, are still this aspect of squaring Mars is going to be the same. We're going to see this through the 6th. And now the big boys squaring Mercury. This will be the last day it's squaring Mercury. So we're not going to have any information this day. Although I will tell you, there are going to be a lot of people that are going to start talking. There are going to be a lot of people saying this side won. There are going to be a lot of people saying this side won, the other side won. There's going to be a lot of I think there's fraud. Okay, right? Because we've got some delusion going on with and I'm not saying that fraud is delusional. I'm just saying that there's people that are going to be saying this because from their perspective with this moon, their energy, their thought process, and what they truly believe that there's, right, that either both sides are going to say there's something crazy happening. I do think the longer this is happening, this square is happening without separation from the sun of Uranus, the more apt we are to begin to see restlessness. I would not be surprised of restlessness either. The other thing I didn't talk about from November 3rd is this. With the North Node in Gemini and the South Node in Sagittarius, there is this thought process. Like Sagittarius are always, hey, I could do everything. I could do everything. Gemini is like, I could do everything. I could do it right now. I do see a lot of recklessness on November 3rd, November 4th. A lot of people are going to say a lot of things. There's going to be a gamut of emotions. There's going to be people that are going to be reckless by their mouth and by their actions. Their thought processes are going to go through a ton of issues on that during this 48-hour period from November 3rd to November 4th. Now we're seeing the separation of the moon from its north node. And as we see this, and if we see it beginning to enter into Cancer, I believe that's where we're going to find the calmness. Okay, so it's moving out of this 8th house energy in respect to the sun. This is the other thing that I must say, though. While the moon is sitting from the perspective of the sun in 8th house energy, what is that, beloveds? What is 8th house energy? That's scorpionic energy. We're going to be thinking like Scorpios in a global way. Certainly for the country. We're going to be looking for truth. We're going to be looking for change in some form or fashion. We're going to be looking for validation. We're going to be looking to be right. Some people that's from a higher plane, some people from that's a lower plane. Vibration, just saying. So there's going to be a lot of people that are going to want to prove themselves right. And so but it's very volatile. The moon also trining Mercury is everybody's going to feel like they are exactly spot on correct. And they're going to be quite vocal about it. And they're going to be looking for justice, and they're going to be saying there's injustices. I'm just telling you. All right? I'm just telling you. Now, yes, there is time for a baby boom. Um, yes, there's going to be a lot of people shrieking, and we're going to have to listen to it. So just get with it. But I'm seeing some good things coming in on the 5th. Now, this is a crazy looking chart, ain't it? But let me tell you what I'm seeing on the 5th. The moon is now going to be trining the sun. Moon in Cancer on the 5th, right, like by the evening of the 5th, right on that cusp, that ninth house personal philosophy cusp. So it's moving out of that eighth house secret energy, and now it's coming into agreement. If anybody can calm a Scorpio down, it's typically a Cancer. When you get Cancers and Scorpios together, you better watch out. Because now you have the moon is coming back home, and it's back home, and it's like, listen, we got to get this set and settled. This year is going nuts, and I done had it. I have had it. The moon then is going to be squaring Venus in Libra. And while you might feel like that's a bad thing, I don't think it's a bad thing. I think that's going to force certain entities to come out and say, we absolutely have to tell the truth, no matter what the cost, because the collective needs the truth. 11th house energy. The collective needs the truth, no matter if my personal philosophy agrees with that. So because my personal philosophy agrees with that, because my personal philosophy is all about that, I have got to move with integrity and get the truth out, no matter what. We still have Mercury squaring the big three. We still have the big three, right? Sextiling Neptune, and Neptune still trining the sun, but then Neptune's also about to trine the moon as well in retrograde. When you get these three, when you get the sun, the moon, and Neptune trining each other, this then says spirituality, higher thought, dream level, higher dimensional energy is coming in line with father and mother, and we're about to see it come down and manifest. The moon's also sextiling Uranus in Taurus in retrograde in the 7th house of balance and justice. So that moon can activate Uranus in retrograde and say, I know you kind of sitting this one out, but I need you to give me a little revolutionary, evolutionary. I need you to give me a little motivation. I need you to help me motivate the hearts and the minds of the people, the collective, to get on the move. So expect by November 5th, those of you that are prayer type warriors, spiritual warriors, there's going to be an activation, what I'm seeing, what I'm sensing, what I'm hearing. An activation of us light workers to break this veil wide open and shed and bring in light and wisdom and purpose and cover for those that are going to speak the truth. Okay? And cover for those that are going to speak the truth. Now, I do believe, I do believe, I do believe that by now, this is now, if this ain't a daggone crazy chart, I don't know what is. We got grand trines happening. We got grand squares happening. We got all kinds of monkey mess happening on November the 6th. And this was the last day I was allowed to do a chart. This is from the sun's perspective. You have a grand trine between the sun, the moon, and Pisces. The sun, the moon, and Pisces. Personal, personal, personal houses. I believe there's going to be some peoples whose hearts are going to be moved on. I believe collectively our collective heart is moved on. And I believe we're going to say it's time. We must know the truth. Venus is opposing Mars. They are polar opposites, but Mars is in retrograde in Aries. Venus is in the 11th house direct in Libra. I believe Venus wins out. Now, Venus is quite close to the sun at this point, as is Mercury. It's coming quite close to the sun. So while originally it was a little difficult to see, I do believe that we're going to see now that kind of personal love and this what is good and what is great for the collective begin to shine brightly as the individual takes a back seat and says what's best for the collective, and I'm going to assist in it. We have this amazing square between Mercury, the moon, Mars, and the big three. This also tells me that this is the last stand, the last bastion. Whatever is majorly going to happen as far as a group trying to keep their power happens, I say, on November the 6th, not November the 3rd. From a group either trying to keep their power, remain in power, those that have been in the dark in power, and they in their own brain, in their own third house energy down there, in with respect to the sun, believe they deserve to be in power. Remember, the Geminis believes that they that if they perceive they've been lied on and they feel they've been lied on, they're going to do whatever it takes to disprove that lie. Now, that's Gemini type energy. I am not saying the Gemini is going to do that. I am saying that is Gemini type energy. I believe that there are entities that will show themselves in a big way. November the 6th, 2020, which would be Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. That Friday is going to be energetically absolutely crazy. This is the evening. And it is going to be a moment in time where we will really see true nature. I'm feeling we're going to really know, even if we don't formally know, we're going to know who wins, who's truly won by this time. The moon is opposing Venus, excuse me, oops, Jupiter, Pluto, which is now basically is conjunct within 1 degree, and Saturn. So you might say that they're having their full moon moment, which is another sign that says to me that all that, I mean, they're going to pull out all stops. Any entity that's been trying to constrain, any entity that's been trying to keep light workers down, any energy that's been trying to keep the light within. November the 6th. That's very interesting because 11 plus 6 is 17. 17, 2020. I'll leave that right there. Um, we're going to see, we're going to know, going to be a lot revealed. I believe that is the day we will probably like have a very good idea about who the winner is. Um, even though some people will be trying to say that that's not the case, but I believe people are gonna show their hands on that day. People are gonna show their hands on that day. That day also looks to me to be a very tumultuous day. 3 days after. 3 days is very significant in most all religions, religious beliefs. This is the third day. Again, 17, 20, 20. Now, I've got some questions here because we're going to get into some oracle. Okay. When will we all see all the government job systems fail? We're not going to see that for a little while yet. The government is going to look different. The government is going to be transformed across the globe. There's governmental structures as well as religious structures that are going to be changed across the globe. I do believe we're going to see a brief reprieve where things will get better. They're going to get worse, then they're going to get better. And then there's going to be a very interesting level of darkness, if you will, as we begin to separate those with souls from those without. AI. Those with souls and those without. It is very important for us to remember, though, throughout this entire process, that we are not dependent upon a socioeconomic structure. As light workers, as light beings, our power or our empowerment does not come from any man-made, shadow-made structure. Our power, right, comes from light. Our power comes from our ability to be the alchemist, be the magician, be the creator, be the empress, right? Be the co-creator in all. Okay? That's where it comes from. We are not dependent upon anything here. And you must keep that in mind over the next 2 months, 2 years, 10 years, because that is where the evolutionary structure, that is where the evolutionary differentiation comes into play. That is where the evolutionary jump comes into play. As we learn how to live in a higher vibrational, not constrained by Chronos, Saturn, time, space, government, man made, all of this. We've been living in the age of Pisces, which is the age of Savior salvation, which is the age of kind of this dreamy, kind of this illusionary. We've been living in the age of the Matrix. That's the only thing I can say. We're living in the age of the Matrix. I said that, WD. Okay, I guess I did. So we're coming out of the age of the Matrix and coming into a new age that we heretofore have not really understood or known, right? We're coming into this age of this kind of global light, global collective, this new technology of energy manipulation and migration. It is time for us to work for ourselves. And yes, it is time for us to work for ourselves, Astrology Girl. Now, again, we're not dependent upon this socioeconomic. So I don't care what happens to your corporate or other job. You are fine. Because this is why we must manifest, right? Why we have to get into that mode. I create my reality. Life outside the matrix knows none of the matrix constraints. Life outside the matrix knows no matrix constraints. Okay? We need to be, there's a reason why may the force be with you, beloveds. Hmm? Why are you not living with the force? Why are you not using the force in everything? Do you understand what I'm saying? I was watching, I won't say what I was watching, but I was watching an interview with someone, and they're two Star Wars buffs and fanatics, and they were like, "Oh, what Star Wars episode do you think we're in right now?" And they were like, "Revenge of the Sith," which is episode 3. I'm going to encourage you all to go watch episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, because I do believe we're in some version of that. Now, we all need to use the forces within me, the forces within you, the forces within all of us. So we need to be utilizing it. Yes? All right, we're going to pull some cards. We're going to pull some cards. Let's see where we're at. I'm very specifically asking Spirit to, sorry, I've got everything everywhere. I've got my Moonology cards here, and I've got my Work Your Light cards here, and I've got the Gate Divine Tarot guide to the Divine Tarot. I do believe the force is love. I believe the force is love and light. I do. Love created everything, right? Love created everything. Expect powerful change. New moon eclipse. Holy cats. Expect powerful change. New moon eclipse. The end of a tough cycle approaches. What did I tell you? Things are going to get worse, they're going to get better. Tough cycle. A win-win outcome is forecast. Beloveds, we're not in a bad spot. We're not in a bad spot. We're not in a bad spot. I don't know what I don't know if I want to be a Care Bear. Yes, it all began with love. Expect powerful change. New moon eclipse. When new moon eclipses happen, we are not only devoid of the emotion that we can't sometimes see what's going on, but when new moon eclipses happen, we are out here and the world is our oyster. The world is the intentions that we set are so very powerful at a new moon eclipse. And if this is the energy that's coming towards us for this election time period, beloveds, let's take that into high consideration. These new moon eclipses are some of the most powerful intentional portal times ever. Be careful what you think. And instead of being worried about red, blue, yellow, green, black, white, purple, brown, I don't care. I need you to be focused on bringing in love, light, unity. I need you to be focused on on getting the shadow in its place, on people that have done very bad things. I need you to focus on those people not being in power and light shining and light coming in and wisdom and power and a unification of everyone on a spiritual level that we can erase these lines of you believe this, I believe that, you believe this, I believe that, you're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong. How all y'all wrong. How about that? Everybody wrong. Everybody. All y'all take a big L. And come into this time of personal responsibility and accountability for our lives. The time coming out of and away from looking for a savior in order to come in on a white horse and come and rescue you. You have been given everything you need right here, right now to create your world. And we are sitting here allowing the world to go up in flames. Stop it. Oops. The end of a tough cycle approaches. All of us have been going through it. We've all been going through it. We've all been going through it. But that cycle is ending. It is time for us to take our rightful place. If you do not know what your purpose is, let's find it out really quickly. If you do know what your purpose is, will you please work with somebody to get it done and get it moving and get it rolling? Please. Let's get it going. Because I know I am. I know I am. Retirement is on its way. We can't focus in on the division. We got to focus in on the unification. If we're putting our energy towards the division with this new moon eclipse energy that's coming in, more division is coming. It will become a greater divide. We have to change our focus from the division to the unification. The end of a tough cycle approaches. A win-win outcome is forecast. I'm going to pull a couple of the what is this? Something of the divine tarot. Judgment. My. The sun. Oh, excuse me, the star. That is the star. and the Seven of Cups. Let me tell you guys something. We have purpose. We have spirit saying, come up here for your higher calling and your higher purpose. This is a moment in time where you are being called to come outside of your third dimensional worries, concerns, and confusion and recognize what's really happening and recognize what this really is. Come out of the matrix. Thank you so much, Melissa. Wish fulfillment is completely possible, but this wish fulfillment, how do we have to have wish fulfillment? We have to align ourselves with spirit. We have to align ourselves with the highest good. And that's when that wish can be fulfilled. You can have all the wish fulfillment you want to in the 3D. You are wasting your energy. And we don't have time for you to waste it anymore. Align yourself with your higher self. Align it. Get in alignment. So you're listening this conversation. That TV, please leave it alone. Seven of Cups, we're coming into this decision. There's going to be some confusion. What else do we have? We have the Fool. But as we come out of this, as we come out with this win-win forecast, as we come out, this is a brand new day. This is a brand new adventure. We are elevating. Yes, love unifies. And the Three of Coins. So I do see a unification coming into play. I do see some hard work. I do see more of you doing what you love to do and earning money at it. Having abundance. Doing what you love to do and also what you're called to do with judgment. That's the way. When you walk in alignment with your higher calling, this is when you get wish fulfillment. This is when you make the decision to take and grab and change and live the life you are meant to live. This is when you go on this brand new now 5D adventure and you do what you love to do. Something great when I was going back to my Bible, Philippians chapter 2, verses 1 through 18 about unity through humility and light bearers. Wow. I have to look that up. This is the energy that's coming in. Are you going to choose? Are you going to choose? Are you going to choose? Right? Are you going to choose to live your life? Let me show this again. To live your life where your emotions and where you come into this fullness, right? This fullness of transformation, a continual life of transformation, expansion, and restructure. Transformation, expansion, and restructure. Transformation, expansion, and restructure. This is what Cancer, the moon in Cancer is saying, showing you this is the energy. There are other energies that are trying to hold on to and hold you back from doing it. But you will be able to see it. Now, again, globally, what do I see here? Oh boy, that's a doozy. And again, that is, sorry guys, that is 17-2020. That is 17-2020. Okay. That does look like sacred geometry. That does look like sacred geometry. Also, Psalms 91, 113 about starting true to the God, spirit, whomever you believe in, even yourself, love is stronger than hate. Listen, we are all gods. We are all divine. We are all divine beings of the divine. And this age of Aquarius is when we learn about our divinity. This age of Aquarius is when we start living as we have already been called as gods. Small g. Okay? Small g. I'm going to look that up a little bit more and see if I can find a sacred geometrical pattern in that. I don't know if this has been helpful at all. That does look like your natal chart. I don't know if that has been helpful at all. What I will say about the election is this: we're in for a bumpy ride. I will be very surprised if there is a winner declared on the 3rd. I think there's a lot of us that don't know who won. I just don't think that there's certain groups that are going to put it out there. But Friday, watch out. On Friday, I want everybody. Matter of fact, over the course of this week, I will be putting out another video. Let's all, if we can, make a specific crystal grid and keep a specific prayer going. I do feel, or intention, right, for love and light, and protection and wisdom, and more protection, over this country and this world. I think that there's going to be some things that are going to happen overseas on the 6th. I think that we're going to know and see a lot of things that have been heretofore been theoretical that are going to show up. They already have been, but even more so that are going to show up as real and as true. I It is going to be a bumpy ride, and I'm saying on the 6th is the day to begin to watch out. On the 6th is really the day I believe things are going to really ratchet up, because I do believe by that point there's going to be a very clear winner. Um, so we have to be careful on that day. Have to be very careful. Those that are my spiritual warriors between now and there's been meteor showers that have been happening recently. I'm hearing that this potential meteor hit is potentially either on the 2nd or the 3rd of November. Um, I'm hearing there's a potential for a solar flare to happen on the 2nd, tomorrow, or the 3rd, of some sort. There's a lot that's going on. So we need to keep all of these things that could provide interference, we need to push them back. We have that ability. Push them back. We don't need any solar flares. We don't need any crazy solar activity. No EMFs. No meteors striking anywhere close to a grid. Can I get y'all? It's tomorrow. It's going to potentially enter the atmosphere. So I need my spiritual warriors and those that understand their authority on this earth. I need y'all to dispatch the angels, and let's push it on back. Okay? Can we please? All right. So, protection over this earth, you will. Protection over the earth. Because, like it or not, as America goes, so goes the world. As America goes, so goes the world. We're keeping our brothers and sisters, our gods and goddesses in Australia in prayer, in France in prayer, in England in prayer, in New Zealand in prayer. We're keeping all of you in prayer. We're keeping our gods and goddesses, our siblings in Africa in prayer, in Hong Kong, in China, in prayer. I say in prayer because that's the only thing I can say, but we're holding space for all of you. We're holding space for you all. Yes. You're close to our hearts. Light your candles. We'll produce another crystal grid. I'll tell you now. Get yourself some carnelian, please. Get yourself some carnelian, some amethyst. What else am I going to put on this grid? Carnelian, amethyst, emerald, clear quartz. And the Philippines, thank you. Turkey and Greece recovering from the earthquake. Good Lord, I hadn't even heard about that. So there's the shaking and the groaning and the pains and the this and the that. It's all happening. This is all biblical. So it must happen. But we're praying for the safety and health and welfare of all. You can bring some jade and some adventurine to it as well. I don't know if I'm going to add any rose quartz this time. I need something a little stronger. I need something a little stronger. That's why I needed the emerald. I needed the amethyst. I needed the carnelian. Anyway, blessed be. Listen, we have to get this weather in alignment. And some of y'all going to really think that I'm nuts. So, okay. You all, tomorrow night, I would like to have a members only, all members, members only live. Tomorrow night is a members only live tomorrow night. I'll let you know what time, probably about the same time. So if you're not already a member, become one. We're going to have a members only live tomorrow night. All members are welcome. It's been a while since I've done that. We're going to talk about some things and talk about some things tomorrow night. So look for your community post tomorrow night and look for it to be about this time. Okay. Also tomorrow, and I'm telling you now because there's going to be other videos posted. So I want y'all to know that they're there. Also, beloveds, so look for the water signs to be posted tomorrow as well publicly for November, and then we'll get the other signs as we can. Okay. All right, guys. Thank you so much for being here. I hope again this was helpful. I hope this is it helps you a lot. Thank you so much, Astrology Girl Tarot, for becoming a member. You guys, there is love and light to everybody. There is a link down in the description box below to become a member if the little member button isn't over there. And I so very much appreciate it. I so very much appreciate all of you. Okay. Peace, love, blessings, and joy be unto you today, tomorrow, and for all eternity. I love you very much. Namaste, masters.